get ready for the next iteration of you on your path to becoming wealthy. On this show, you'll get the insider's view on wealth creation, the class none of us got taught in school, with my co-host, daughter, and beginning investor, Sophia Bosch. And now, let's get started. Welcome to the Becoming Wealthy podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Bosch.
And Sophia Bosch.
And we are talking today about the concept of unique ability, which, out there in mainstream, most likely you know it as your genius zone. There's a lot of talk about what's your genius zone. And so I wanted us to talk a little bit about that because, Sophia, I know that in school, you are being rewarded for continuing to strengthen your strengths. But there's also this, I would say, this look into or focus into where are you weak right now and what can you do to strengthen that weakness? Wouldn't you agree? You have a little bit of that going on?
Oh, absolutely. That's, I feel like, the main focus. People, they focus on you should pursue your interests, but you need to make your weakness strong.
It makes sense from the point of view of you want to have be at a certain standard, in reading, in math, in sciences, and, reading comprehension and your ability to write.
That's fine.
But there is one thing, that you're going to excel in. And what I have learned from my coach, for example, is that one thing that you usually excel in, it's not necessarily a subject, but it's a way of doing things that works really, really well for you, that comes naturally to you, that others look up to you for, that others refer you for, that others can count on you for.
Exactly.
And that is basically what he calls your unique ability, or what in traditional schooling would be called your strengths. And he's of the opinion that if you focus only on your strengths or on your unique ability, that 20% that you spend basically, usually we do 100%, all activities,
right.
All things. But if you just focus on the 20% that constitutes your strength and your unique ability, that is going to produce 80% of the results. And, there's a rule called the 80-20 rule. And it's basically addressing that. But he's going actually a little bit further with that. And he is of the opinion, from evidence from working with thousands of entrepreneurs now for many decades, that every time you're able to basically focus and have a relentless focus on what your genius zone is or your unique ability is,
right?
That every time that you focus on that, there's still things that need to get done. And so if you focus on that, you're going to have to bring in help and team, and you're going to have to work in a team, basically. I'm sure you guys do projects where you guys work on teams. How do you divide the work right now in your team? Do you just assign different pieces, or is it based on what each person is good at?
It's based on what each person is comfortable doing, and it happens 50% of the time. The other 50% is that one person. If you get stuck with two people that don't do any work, there's always that one person that does all the work, and it's
yeah, well, that dynamics of working in a team is a completely different story. But yeah, that happens. But sometimes, so you split up the work, right? And you guys basically, based on what you feel most comfortable, what most likely comes natural to you, you decide, okay, I'm going to take that part. You're good at this. You're going to take this part.
Yeah.
And so basically, it's an extension of what you're already doing a little bit in school. Yeah. What we talk about here, with, in the entrepreneurial world, of focusing on the 20% that you're good at, and then outsourcing or delegating the 80% that you're not so good at, but that constitutes the 20% for someone else.
Yeah.
And what that allows you, as you keep on doing that into the future in your career, in your journey of becoming, is that it's going to allow you to really hone in on that one thing that you're so good at, to the point that you're going to have mastery over that unique ability of yours.
Right.
And once we have mastery, which typically comes after you have about 10,000 hours, which is a book, by the way. Once you have 10,000 hours, you have mastery over that particular either skill, or that unique ability becomes kind of like second nature, and it becomes intuitive. And the proponents,
you can feel it out.
Exactly. And the proponent of, this concept has evidence because he has seen it, over and over, entrepreneurs in their businesses, that when they do that, number one, they're happier because they're working on something that they love to do. Number two, they are able to be truly themselves and have this full expression of who they truly are. Number three, they get compensated really, really well because they're getting mastery at one thing. And when you're looking for the best person in the world to do X, and that's you with your unique ability, you're going to command, high prices for whatever it is that, you do. And number four, that is going to allow you as an entrepreneur, or you as a person that is in charge of a business or a project, to have a 10x growth or 10x jump, because everyone is going to basically be working. And it's not theoretical what I'm talking about, this concept. It's not a theory.
No.
It actually is actually something that happens in the real world. Let's put it as an example right now with your land business. You just started your land business, but what you're going to notice now...
I put on 20% of effort and get 80 in return.
Yeah. That's exactly it. Basically, you're putting right now 20%, you're putting 100% of effort in basically, in addressing, say, 5 or 6 different counties. Yeah? Mm-hmm. And from those 6 different counties, what you're going to probably notice is that there's going to be 2 counties that are going to be your winning counties, where most of your properties, where you're going to be doing wholesaling and making profits, are going to come from. Then there's going to be 2 other counties, where I should have done this with an example of 10, so that we can have the 80-20. But there's going to be certain counties that are going to give you so results. And then there's going to be some counties that are not going to give you any results.
Yeah. I learned that with 10.
Yes.
Like 3 are good, 3 are fine, 3 are bad. And then 1 is just like outlier. Like
an outlier. Exactly. So what you're gonna find out then is that there's 2 of those counties that are gonna be your winners, and the other 8 you're gonna discard. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you're focusing again on this 20% that produces the 80% of your deals. Yeah.
I think someone told me.
Yeah. Also, another way to look at this is, for example, when you are getting ready to study for a test, ideally you would want to go through the entire content, but say
but if I don't understand,
but say that you're cramming because, you left this for last minute. But that, the essay questions are the parts of the exam
where you get the most points,
that carry the most points. Yeah, exactly.
Most points.
That carry the most weight, exactly, in your grade. And so you're going to focus on the possible topics that are probably going to be addressed on those essays,
right?
So that you can basically, by studying 20% of the material, get 80% of the possibility of the grade. Not that I am condoning that or that I am approving of that. Ideally, I would want you to, take advantage of most, to the maximum of what you're being presented in school. Right. But I remember being a student too, and I know what it's like to basically sometimes cram for an exam because you had all kinds of competing projects that, took your time. And by the time you realize there was only 1 day left before the exam.
Some teachers assign a test the day after, say it's today, they tell us there's a test tomorrow. I'm like,
okay, great. So then that's basically addressing. You would then focus on the on the 20% that can possibly give you the 80% of the results.
I have a feeling that's how my chemistry class is going to go this year.
Yeah. So how was your school? This is the first week of school. How was that? Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, it was good. I'm actually really happy of how it went. All my teachers are pretty good.
Okay.
Like, my classes are good. I have my friends in my classes. And honestly, I think this year is going to be more challenging, which will motivate me more, hopefully.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, that's good to hear. So yeah, so then going back to this concept
I love
of
your pants, by the way.
Thank you so much. They're very yellow. Yeah. I'm like, I am here. So going back to this concept of unique ability, and of 10x growth. Right now in your land biz, you're doing everything. You're basically picking the counties. You have been sending out the letters, doing the comp analysis. You have been basically sending out the offers. You have been renegotiating, following up, renegotiating offers.
That's so hard for no reason. Talking to people.
It is only hard because we haven't done it. But again, the more that we do something.
Talking to strangers about a property that they own and like that you want is like.
But
not ideal.
But isn't it true that most of the things that we're going to want in life, in order to get them, we're going to have to associate and talk with people that we don't know versus the people that we already know?
Yeah, exactly. I know, but it's still hard.
I know it is hard. It's hard for you as a 15-year-old, and I can get it because you're also...
Plus, I feel like they can tell that I'm like 15.
I know. So there's challenges basically that you're having that an adult wouldn't be having, starting a land wholesaling business. But you've been successfully overcoming them, and that's all that counts. And so now you have your first offer under contract. You're going to be preparing a listing. All of this you're going to be doing yourself. You're going to then start to market and put those listings in different channels, right? Kind of like your coach.
I created the listing last night, I think.
Okay, perfect. So
I need to send that to
So
him.
then
Anyways.
once the listing is being marketed and it's being placed in different places where you're promoting basically and putting the listing, people are going to call you or they're going to text you and they're going to be like, hey, is that property still available? Can you tell me more about the property? And again, in order to be of service to the people that are looking to buy your piece of land, you're going to have to talk to strangers, right? Mm-hmm. And it's a skill that with practice, you're going to get to mastery. And it's a good thing, Sophia, because at the end of the day...
But that's a weakness that you do want to strengthen.
And then you want to recognize, is it truly a weakness? Or is it something that I have never done? And because I have never done...
you're not...
so good at. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Exactly. So you're going to go ahead and do every single part, basically, from the beginning to end until you close on your first deal. And then what you're going to notice are, there's things that I need to refine my skill set on. And it's okay to refine those skills.
Have it to a certain standard, right?
Exactly, to bring it to a certain standard. And when it's up to that certain standard, then it's an opportunity. Maybe we're going to be talking...
Focus in on to what I'm good at.
What you're good at. Yeah.
Whatever that may be, because I've never done any of this before.
Exactly.
So.
It could be that once you've done, I don't know, maybe 3, 5, 10 deals, and you've gone through this process over a course of 12 months, you're going to step back and you're going to then look and assess, okay, this area I'm so much better at, and I wasn't so good at, and I actually love doing this now. This area, I was competent before and I was able to do it easily. But to be frank, doing it over and over and over seems boring or repetitive. And I don't want to do that anymore. And so at that point, hopefully your business has generated enough profits,
where I can
start delegating to other people, to team that you bring on board. And more than likely, I can already tell you that the paperwork part, at least, is not my strength, and it's not part of my unique ability.
I'm already really bad at paperwork, so that's probably
Yeah, but who knows? There's some people that love actually the paperwork part, and so you find those people.
Good for them.
Exactly. We need to be excited.
Not my cup of tea, but
exactly.
them,
We need to be excited about those amazing humans and individuals whose organization and paperwork is their strength, because then they can be of service to you, and you can be of service to them by employing them. And they can take care of that 80% of the stuff that does not fall within your unique ability, within your 20%. And, this concept right now might seem a little abstract because you're only halfway into your first land deal.
Yeah.
But like I said, 12 months down the road, I would love to have this conversation again and for us to reassess as to where we're at, because this concept is so important. It's what keeps a lot of businesses always small. It's what doesn't allow businesses to break beyond $100,000. It's what doesn't allow businesses to break beyond 7 figures, $1 million. So, talking big money. Right. And sometimes doesn't allow people to even break to the 8 figures and so on. And it starts basically with something as simple as this, as understanding basically what is that 20% that you should have a relentless focus on, so that you can become the best in your space at that 20%, so that you can have a big 10x jump in the growth of your business. For us, I remember Papa and Mama starting their land business. And in the beginning, we were wearing all hats. We didn't have any money to go and hire, kind of like you. You don't have the money right now to go hire people. And we were wearing all hats and at some point, yes, we were doing deals and we were doing good money, but we knew that if we wanted to 10x that growth, if instead of doing, 60 deals or 100 deals, in order to make 1,000 deals, that something needed to change, because we couldn't work any longer hours than we were already working.
Yeah, there's only so many hours.
There's only so many hours in a day that we needed to basically bring team. And when we decided to bring team, we looked at each other and we decided, okay, what is the 20%?
I don't want to do that. Yeah.
That I am amazing at? And what's the 80% that we're going to let go? And so that gave us incredible amounts of capacity, not just to make more money, because making money is not the most important thing, is not the main thing, but it gave us the capacity to be of service to many, many more sellers and be of service to many, many more buyers. And by being of service to these two people or these individuals, we were able to get rewarded with great profits from wholesaling land.
My question is, if you're delegating, say in this land business, say you weren't good at calling people. That's kind of the main part, because you're connecting with either the seller or the buyer. Yeah. And you're basically building trust. If you're not good at that, but that's honestly one of the most important parts, would you still delegate it? Yeah, you can delegate it, but then you delegate it to someone whose skills in sales, because even though it's on the acquisition side of your business, it's a person that is great at sales and is great at creating rapport with your sellers. I'm just should you delegate the most important thing, even if you're not great at it? So you can delegate it. You just need to find the right person to delegate it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And you might decide that it's the most important part. And on top of it, now that you're good at it, you love it. Some people might decide that is an aspect of the business that they don't ever want to delegate, that they want to keep. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, we're working. And if we're spending quite a bit of time in this work, it should be work that brings us joy, right? That's my next question. If you are really good at this one thing, but you hate doing it, what do you do then? I think that... you're really, really good at it. You haven't found anyone else that's better at it that could help you if you wanted to delegate it. But You know what I'm saying?
So as the question is, should you delegate something that you're not good at or something that you're good at?
Should you delegate something that you're good at but you don't like doing? Like you absolutely hate it.
Yes. The answer is 100% yes.
Yeah, but you're like so good at it. You're the best.
You're the best until you find someone that has the skill just as good as yours and that on top of it enjoys it and loves it.
Okay.
They're going to be exponentially better. But you know what? This is the crux of what we're talking right now, is that most entrepreneurs we think, including myself, that if we're highly competent, in something, that we're the best at it and that I shouldn't delegate it, even though I might not entirely enjoy it because I'm the best right now in my team to do it. And sometimes you have to do it because your team relies on you.
Right.
But ideally, you would want to bring in someone that is equally or better and on top of it loves doing it. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a thing. So what else did I want to talk about unique ability? Something that I have noticed just from my experience when talking about my genius zone and my unique ability is that...
What does genius zone mean?
It's the same as a unique ability, that one thing that you do really, really well.
Okay.
You know how Papa and I always discuss about each other's? His is his ability to see opportunities that others don't see.
Right.
And mine is really being able to see in a noise of data the one thing that is important and then being able to explain to someone else why this is significant. That's kind of like
good in school.
That's kind of like my unique ability, and that's how I'm able to be very strategic in the moves that we make, because in a sea of strategies out there, as an entrepreneur.
So Papa sees the opportunity, and within that opportunity, you see what you have to focus on.
Yeah, or
the other way around.
Or sometimes I serve as an opportunity filter for Papa, where I said, you know what, this is a great opportunity, but look at this other thing that I have looked at, or that I found in this sea of information and noise out there in the world. How do these two compare, and which one has the highest possibility for a highest return, not just in money, but in service, in impact in others, and in our ability to have joy and have freedom of time, right? So that we can spend time with you and enjoy the relationships that we create. And so all of that goes into us sometimes, choosing an opportunity, which we could do an entire episode just on evaluating opportunities, but in any case, so one thing that I wanted to basically end this episode with is with the fact that as we hone in on our genius zone, what you're gonna find is that genius zone, or that ability of yours that is superior than anyone else's, because you're a unique individual. God made you a masterpiece that is unique, that you're not like anyone else out there. Yeah. What you're going to find is that it is not static, that unique ability is going to get refined with time, and that you're going to be able to use that unique ability, not just to build a land biz, not just to do great in school, not just to do possibly great in college, but
it has to go beyond that.
But it's going to help you also become a great entrepreneur when you decide to buy your, you want to be the owner of a gallery, of an art gallery.
Yeah.
That with time, you're going to refine that unique ability, and it's going to continue to make you better, and it's going to allow you to translate it across industries to other projects and other interests that you have in your life as you grow up. Because one thing that I know for sure is that you're a little bit like me. You're a curious little mouse, and you're a lifelong learner. And what is great about identifying and honing in on unique ability is that whatever other new project, new venture, new industry, new things that you want to go do, you're going to be able to bring that unique ability with you. It's portable. It doesn't stay in the real estate industry. It doesn't stay in the, art industry. You can apply it everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's important for all of us to really discover what it is and hone in on this. And so my little homework for you, to end this episode right now is I want you to go out to 10 people. And in these 10 people, I want you to ask maybe family members that have known you all your life, friends from, prior schools, friends from your existing school. And I want you, or people that you work, sometimes you've worked a little bit with our team inside of our businesses. I want you to be selective and pick a few from each of those categories and send them the question out asking, hey, so-and-so, so you've known me for this amount of time. What is one thing that you know for sure you can count on me for, that I'm good at, that you look up to me for, and that you would refer me to others if they needed help with something, that is in that unique ability of mine, that you would refer to me? What is that one thing that you would think is my unique ability?
If there's a pattern.
And see if there's a pattern, because I can guarantee you, I know.
I've already a couple people in mind.
Great. That what
5 to 10, you said?
Yeah. Ideally 10. And basically two from your prior school, 2 from this existing school right now, maybe 2 that are family in Germany, maybe 2 family here in the US, maybe 2 other friends that know you.
Can I ask you and Papa?
Yeah, of course. We can be part of that. But maybe from rock climbing, a couple friends from rock climbing. And basically you're going to ask that question.
I'll add that next. So
yeah,
I'll
exactly.
Ask.
Exactly.
I'll already start on it.
And what I want you to do is actually not ask, in person, but actually send them a little text or a little message on email.
So they have time to think about it.
And write you back and text you back. Okay. And that way you print all of these, and then you're going to start seeing patterns. And for everyone watching us, today as well, if you want to start honing in your unique ability, maybe you already know what you're good at, but maybe not.
To just make sure.
Yeah.
Is.
You want to hone in, because you want to hone in not just from your perspective, from the inside out, but also the perception that others have of you. So basically from the outside in, they're giving you a different feedback and optics that you wouldn't normally not have. So that's why it's important to basically not just have this exercise be an exercise that comes from within, but also from without, from people that know you really, really well. So with that, Sophia, we did it. You know a little bit more about unique ability and your genius zone. And I'm excited for us to find out what it is for you. Thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thank you.
And for our listeners, thank you so much for being here with us today. If you enjoyed today's show, make sure that you leave us a 5-star review. We are very grateful every single week and every single time that you hit download and you allow us to come into your space, into your world. And we look forward to spending some time with you guys in the next episode of Becoming Wealthy.